woman is like, I'm just. A lot of men do get married because they want a maid, a chef, a house cleaner, like all of these things, which that's totally fine if that's his wants and needs out of the partner. But then don't expect for her to bring in income just as much as you, but then also take on those roles and also have babies for you. Like it's just like how much do you want out of this person? And then when the woman gets tired and she can't like do anymore, then it's upset. Then it's like, oh, she's not the same as she was. A lot of men do get married because they want a maid, a chef, a house cleaner, like all of these things, which that's totally fine if that's his wants and needs out of the partner. But then don't expect for her to bring in income just as much as you, but then also take on those roles and also have babies for you. Like it's just like how much do you want out of this person? And then when the woman gets tired and she can't like do anymore, then it's upset. Then it's like, oh, she's not the same as she was. A lot of men do get married because they want a maid, a chef, a house cleaner, like all of these things, which that's totally fine if that's his wants and needs out of the partner. But then don't expect for her to bring in income just as
Men get the divorce papers. They'll be like, where did I go wrong?
a lot of the complaints, like the happiest people are single women and married men. It was like this whole like debate, and I'm like, I really think that is true.
Honestly, you guys, like, I feel like a lot of married women are unhappy.
Because they take on both roles.
They
A
do.
lot of women take on both roles, and that's
do.
what makes them unhappy. Because when a man gets married, he automatically like gets everything. He gets a home, he gets, you know,
He gets-
the good parts of a woman.
He gets a chef,
Mhm.
a nanny, a house cleaner,
Mhm.
a prostitute.
Mhm. They get everything.
They get everything.
Literally. And then the woman is like expected to do the housework and work as well.
Honestly, like, I don't want to say a lot of women like enable it, but it's like you got it. Like, I think Shara 7 says something really well. She's like, just don't do it for a week.
The happiest people.
Nakita ko daw sa friend ko na sobrang puti.
My friend came to me and said she is cheating on her man, she's cheating on her husband, she's cheating on her boyfriend. I would distance myself from that friend. That just shows me it's a character. It's who you are. It's who you are as a person. So if that's what you're doing to the person that you claim that you love, what would you do to me? My friend came to me and said she is cheating on her man, she's cheating on her husband, she's cheating on her boyfriend. I would distance myself from that friend. That just shows me it's a character. It's who you are. It's who you are as a person. So if that's what you're doing to the person that you claim that you love, what would you do to me? My friend, I've personally never taken back a cheater. The only way I can see myself even being involved in that matter is if I have to be with him, if we have kids, or if we're married and it's not as easy to just break up with a person, you have to go through a divorce or whatnot. But then an understanding will be made, a conversation will be made where I'm not even attracted to you anymore, to be honest. Like to me, if a man cheats on me, like a switch goes off in my brain. Like I don't even view him the same. Like for me to be even attracted to you, I can't even think about that.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a situation where it's just boyfriend, like it's to the point where I don't care when, where, what. I don't want to know details. The fact of the matter is that you cheated on me and now you're out of my life. Done. But if it's a situation where we have kids, we're married, then I might stay with him for the sake of the kids because kids are so precious to my heart. But a conversation will be made of, I'm not yours anymore.
Yeah.
So you can go do you. You can continue doing whatever you're doing. You don't gotta hide it. And I'm gonna go do me. That's it. But in front of the kids, we're gonna be together. Like I really, it breaks my heart when kids have to go through things because of the wrongdoings of a parent. It really breaks my heart. You guys, kids like have a really soft spot in my heart. So I would probably stay with him until the kids are 18. I don't play with cheating. Like I'm telling you, like to me, the worst thing a person can do is cheat on you. Like I don't play with that. I don't forgive that. I just don't. To me, people that cheat, like you have absolutely zero moral compass and you have no integrity. Like it's okay to be unhappy in a relationship, but a conversation should be made of I'm unhappy and maybe we should go our separate ways for a while. Like an understanding needs to be made. But to literally deceive someone to me is like bottom of the barrel. Like I don't play that at all. And that's why when I hear like people forgiving cheating or taking a cheater back, like no, I don't play with
Women who get the best sugar daddies are women who are established, but they're established through other sugar daddies. Because the women that are leveling up or getting the best sugar daddies in my group, they leveled up through other sugar daddies. Okay? So they look established. And then they get another one. So, yeah. Women who get one thing that really helped Mel and I in our relationship is like, I kind of feel like I would nag on him. I would be like, and he would be like, don't nag on me. But I'm like, but I need you to do something. And I feel like I have to keep telling you. Granted, we do have a million things that we're thinking about. What I do now that helps so much is doing a shared notes. You know, you can do that. You can do a collaborative note. So like we have a collaborative note and I'll put it on there. Like something I want him to get done, but I don't want to be like, did you do it? Did you do it? Go look at that. Like I'll put like, I don't know, like clean out this closet and I'll just be on the note. And I won't say anything until a check mark happens. Okay, I know it's done. One thing that really helped Mel and I in our relationship is like, I kind of feel like I would nag on him. I would be like, and he would be like, don't nag on me. But I'm like, but I need you to do something. I feel like I have to keep telling you. Granted, we do have a million things that we're thinking about. What I do now that helps so much is doing a shared notes. You know, you can do that. You can do a collaborative note. So like we have a collaborative note and I'll put it on there. Like something I want him to get done, but I don't want to be like, did you do it? Did you do it? Go look at that. Like I'll put like, I don't know, like clean out this closet and I'll just be on the note.
Boss, maraming players ang sinabing sinungaling tayo. Dahil wala silang kitang points.
Nag-download ba sila mula sa link sa ibaba ng video na ito? Mahal naming player. Sinisigurado ko, kung hindi ka makakakuha ng 300...
Don't let men's weaponized incompetence gaslight you. Don't say to yourself, well, he's a man. He's just not good at it. He doesn't know how. Either he gets with the program or you're out the door. That he doesn't deserve you. You got to give him an ultimatum.
Sometimes I don't think it's weaponized incompetence. I think it's just incompetence.
I think it's weaponized.
You think so?
I
I
think
think
they
some
have a
guys
human
really
brain.
just
Like, I think they're just making excuses. Like, well, you're better at it, so you do it.
no,
Or they purposely
need to
do
be
a bad
taught.
job.
They just need to be taught. I think a lot of times.
And honestly, I blame the moms sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
saying,
And you know
my
what?
boys are being raised. They're gonna know how to. It's not like Arya, you're a girl, so you do the laundry, and Kayvon, because you're a boy, you go do. Like, no.
I feel
We're
that
all
every
learning
human
human
being
skills.
should learn to take care of themselves. You know?
Exactly. Don't let men's weaponized incompetence gaslight you. Don't say to yourself, well, he's a man. He's just not good at it. He doesn't know how. Either he gets with the program or you're out the door. That he doesn't deserve you. You got to give him an ultimatum.
Sometimes I don't think it's weaponized incompetence. I think it's just incompetence.
I think
Like,
it's weaponized.
You think so?
I
I
think
think
they
some
have a
guys
human brain.
really just
Like, I think they're just making excuses. Like, well, you're better at it, so you do it.
no,
Or they purposely
need to
do
be
a bad
taught.
job.
They just need to be taught. I think a lot of times.
And honestly, I blame the moms sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
saying,
And you know
my
what?
boys are being raised. They're gonna know how to. It's not like Arya, you're a girl, so you do the laundry, and Kayvon, because you're a boy, you go do. Like, no.
I feel
We're
that
all
every
learning
human
human
being
skills.
should learn to take care of themselves. You know, a lot of men do get married because they want a maid, a chef, a house cleaner, like all of these things, which that's totally fine if that's his wants and needs out of the partner. But then don't expect for her to bring in income just as much as you, but then also take on those roles and also have babies for you. Like, it's just like, how much do you want out of this person? And then when the woman gets tired and she can't like do anymore, then it's upset. Then it's like, oh, she's not the same as she was. A lot of men do get married because they want a maid, a chef. If you don't have your own, you're gonna be trapped. You're gonna be trapped. And a lot of times you see women that don't have their own be put into these terrible, terrible situations because they can't get out.
Yeah.
They can't get out because where are you gonna go? Have your own. I'm telling you, have your own and get you a provider man. That's what I stand for. That's what I stand. Listen, you guys can do as you wish. I'm all for all types
love
of
that.
relationships. If you're happy, I am happy for you. But I just think that that's the best way to go. All for provider men. Do as you wish, but have your own.
Have your
own
plan.
bank account. Because listen, if you don't have your own, you're gonna be trapped.
How do you deal with people interfering, trying to get him to dump me? Be the type of woman that no man wants to dump, man. Let them just waste their time. Sprinkle, sprinkle. How do you deal with people interfering, trying to get him to dump me? Be the type of woman that no man wants to dump, man. Let them just waste their time. You don't have to say that you're delusional. That's just how you have to be. Okay? If your standards are this high and you only date providers, then you're living in that world where only providers approach you. And that's all that you suspect that's approaching you. You don't expect nothing less. So if a man approaches you, you're going to treat him like the provider that you know he is, because why else would they be approaching you? I know you're not going to be approached by dust, right? And if you already feel like they're a provider and treating them like a provider, and that's the only way that they're going to be able to impress you and move to the next level, to the conversation, they're going to provide. So, sometimes that's all you got to do. And they'll be like, I'm bored with it. They won't even know what hit them. They're like, I've been providing since day one. I don't know how, but I have been.
Mga kapatid,
I'm not dealing with nobody at the workplace unless they are the owner or the boss high up. Okay? And they got to chase me and risk it all. Okay? Because they know that they that paid. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Like, literally, they don't have to risk it all for me, because I don't want nothing less. You gonna have to risk it all. You the owner, you rich, you high up. I don't want no coworker that's making the same as me. Okay, you gotta be able to risk it all for me. You gotta say, well, what if she files HR? I don't care. That's what I want. Nothing less. Sprinkle, sprinkle, and they gotta be paid. If you're not risking it all and at the top of your field, don't talk to me. It's not really worth it, okay? You can make them your friend at work, your buddy, your work husband, but you don't make no first moves. If he cheats, does that mean he'll do it again? I mean, he probably did it before. Okay, oh, me a sprinkle, sprinkle, thank you. Y'all know that there are men cheating the day before their wedding, on their wedding day, and the day after their wedding. Do you know that men still cheat? Not all, I'm not going to say all men are going to cheat on their wedding. I'm just saying. Do you know that there are actually some men out there that literally cheat on their wedding day? Or the day after? Yeah. So, why are you asking me about men cheating? You should be asking me about how you're going to benefit from being with whatever man you're with, because that's the only highest hopes that you could have in a relationship, is how you're going to benefit from it. Now, he may or may not cheat, I don't know, but that's not your main focus. Your main focus is how are you going to benefit from the relationship. Okay, just tell them what they're going to be, and if they want to impress you, they'll do all the things that you want. Oh, you're so nice, I'm so glad I met a provider finally after a bunch of, frogs and stuff like that. It's really nice to meet a real man who's a provider. What's he going to do? Stop you and say, I'm not a provider? Or is he going to start providing? You tell him what you want him to be. And in that first initial stage of them trying to impress you, they're going to try to live up to it. I'm not getting ready to figure it out. I'm getting ready to tell them what they're going to do. And if they don't want to do it, they can dismiss themselves. You just tell them what they're going to be. And if they want to, do men treat the next girl better? It depends on what they went through with you. Did you build them? Did you teach them? Did you finish raising them for the next woman? Did you do all the things that you needed to do to make him into a better man for the next chick? That all depends on how you treat him in the relationship, if he's going to treat the next one better. Do men treat the next girl better?
It depends.
It depends on what they went through with you.
True.
Did you build them? Did you teach them? Did you finish raising them for the next woman? Did you do all the things that you needed to do to make him into a better man for the next chick? If you see a grown, able-bodied man struggling, you shouldn't be by his side. He should be struggling alone. He shouldn't bring you for the ride. You know what I'm saying? That's just selfish. I'm not helping no struggling, grown, able-bodied man. I'm sorry. That would hurt their ego. Y'all should know me by now. Y'all should know me by now. The answer will always be no to that question. Don't ever ask that again because you know the answer is no. I know that's harsh, but that's just the standards that you have to keep in order to keep the type of lifestyle that you want. Okay? Like you can't just be like, oh well, you can't have that type of sympathy for a grown, able-bodied man. Okay? You can't. Not if you want one that you can respect and who's a provider. If your husband was broke and struggling, would you help him? I would not be married to that person. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Think about it. You know from the beginning. Like, I'm not getting ready to be married to somebody that can lower their self to struggle. Like the person that I marry will never be struggling. So no. If your husband was broke and struggling, would you help him? I would not be married to that person. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Think about it. You know from the beginning. Like I'm not getting ready to be married to somebody that can lower their self to struggle. Like the person that I marry will never be struggling. You know if he has feelings for you, if he's spending lots of money and investing in you. You got feelings if he's spending money, lots of money. How do you know if he has feelings for you if he's spending lots of money and investing in you? You got feelings if he's spending money, lots of money. How do you know if he has
The man purses.
the satchel?
Y'all, no, please, somebody explain to me, okay? Because you see, our fathers, our grandfathers, they had keys, a wallet, and a phone. I'm having trouble understanding why these men need purses nowadays. Like, what are you carrying in it, baby? Tampons or your lip gloss? Which one? No, I'm not joking, sis. When a man approaches me with a little purse,
No, I agree.
I smile and I walk away. Like, I'm just like, you can't, like, I don't even say anything. I'm just like, and I walk away. I don't get why men have changed so much. Like, why is our father's generation, our grandfather's generation so different than the little boys today? Can somebody explain?
Because they're in their princess era.
They're princesses. But to be fair, women are in their masculine era. It
They
is
are.
what it is.
I think it's because it's kind of like a cycle. So our grandmas, let's say the 1950s, 1960s, like things were different then. Also, like the cost of living, I think the cost of living has to do with it too.
Well, they're using that cost of living to buy purses. Like, if the cost of living was so high, babe, they wouldn't buy purses to put stuff in it.
Trust me, I agree with you. Don't think I'm defending them. But I just think now we're seeing more of like the 50-50 because honestly, it's kind of like a necessity for survival. Think about it. Back in the day, like people lived very comfortably on like one teacher salary. You can't do that in 2024.
But sis, the amount of jobs that are now available
agree.
to people, especially men, like
They can go work 4 jobs. Like,
not just that, you can make money so much easier now than you've ever have. Like, I remember, like, you had to go to a school, you had to get certified, you had to graduate, get diploma, like things like that to be able to get certain jobs to make money. But now there's so many different things available, like the cost of living. I believe the cost of living is higher now. It's growing like crazy because money has become more accessible than it's ever
that
been
is true.
before.
Yeah.
That's what I think. The man purses.
I know, the satchel.
Y'all, no,
Sure, can you help me name your baby daughter, girl? Well, I can give you some tips and clues on how to name a child. Look up the meanings of all the names that you like for your daughter. And find the name with the best meaning that sounds pretty. And sound like they could be married to a rich man. So find a name with good meaning that sounds good as a rich man's wife name. There you go. Keep it like that. Get you a bougie name that sounds rich, okay? With good meaning. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Why do women feel guilty for leaving their ex or their boyfriends, or why do women feel guilty for, wanting better in life and leaving the dust behind? It's because, I answered this earlier, and it's because you feel like you're abandoning your child. I mean, if you're not with a man that is a total provider and you're with someone you're actually taking care of or who you're helping, it's literally like you're their mother and you're abandoning them. And so you're having those types of feelings of guilt because you are playing the mother role instead of the woman role as far as in the relationship. You are supposed to be the one being provided for, not the one to finish raising someone and helping them reach their, potential and stuff like that. You feel guilty because you feel like you're abandoning a child. And that's not how you should feel in a relationship or at the end of a relationship. That should just tell you right then and there that you were with the wrong type of man. You know what I'm saying? You feel like that was your project, your child, and now you feel guilty for leaving because you didn't finish raising him right, or you couldn't do what you set out to do, and you couldn't change him the way that you thought you could, and you couldn't help him get to the next level, and so you just gave up on him. You feel like a failure because you are playing the mother role. All right, so get out of that mother role with men. It's not helpful. Okay. I mean, who wants to date their mother, like, seriously anyway? I mean, you're going to be telling them what to do the whole time. You'll never respect them as the man of the house anyway. So there should be no guilt behind any of that. You should just understand what it was and leave it where it was, where it is. Okay? Leave it where it is.
5 reasons that he was in a serious committed relationship with was Venmo, was paying him very 50-50. And I was just so shocked. I was like, you know him. I will tell you after who he is. He's even paid for my sister before when we've all went out to eat and stuff like that. And I thought that was just his character. I'm like, that's his culture, that's his personality, that's who he is. But no, it made me realize it really is the woman's energy.
Yeah.
It really is how the woman sets the tone.
What you
and
allow.
listen, I don't know their relationship dynamic. Maybe the girl wants to. I'm not judging it whatsoever, at all. If that's what the girl wants to do, if they're happy in that dynamic, in that relationship, God bless. I'm saying that I thought that how a man is just who he is. If he's gonna pay for me, he's gonna pay for any girl that he's with, in a relationship with. That's just how he moves about life. But when I saw that, I was like, it made me think for a second. It took me back for a second. I'm like, wait, that's crazy, because I would never take him to do that.
Yeah.
Because anytime I even offered to pay when we were in a relationship, he wouldn't take it from me. He would literally be like, I don't want it, I don't want it. So it was just, I don't know. It was just crazy for me to see that. So it really did show me that the woman does set the tone for the relationship. The woman is really the, what's it called in that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding? She said it the best. The man is the head, the woman is the neck, and she really turns the head however she wants. It's really the feminine energy. It's really the woman that is, But I will say, I don't want to blame it's not just the woman's fault. Some men are just lazy to the core.
Yeah.
Some men just are they're just lazy. They're just not trying to be masculine. They're not trying to take that responsibility at all. But saying in general, most men do feel their best when they are taking care of stuff. He was in a serious committed relationship with was Venmo, was paying him very 50-50. And I was just so shocked. I was like, you know him. I will tell you after who he is. He's even paid for my sister before when we've all went out to eat and stuff like that. And I thought that was just his character. I'm like, that's his culture, that's his personality, that's who he is. But no, like it made me realize it really is the woman's like energy.
Yeah.
It really is like how the woman sets the tone.
What you
and
allow.
listen, I don't know their relationship dynamic. Maybe the girl wants to. I'm not judging it whatsoever, like at all. If that's what the girl wants to do, if they're happy in that dynamic and that relationship, God bless. I'm saying that I thought that how a man is just who he is. Like if he's
Yeah.
gonna pay for me, he's gonna pay for any girl that he's with in a relationship with. Like that's just how he moves about life. But when I saw that, I was like, huh. It made me
Yeah.
think for a second. Like it took me back for a second. I'm like, wait, like that's crazy because I would never take him to do that.
Yeah.
Because anytime I even offered to pay when we were in our relationship, he wouldn't take it from me. Like he would literally be like, I don't want it for like I don't want it. So it was just I don't know. It was just like crazy for me to see that. So it really did show me that the woman does set the tone for the relationship. Like the woman is really the what's it called in that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding? She said it the best. The man is the head, the woman is the neck, and she really turns the head however she
However
wants.
she wants.
It's really the feminine energy. It's really the woman that is, you know. But I will say I don't want to blame like it's not just the woman's fault. Like some men are just lazy to the core.
Yeah.
Some men just are like they're just
are.
lazy. They're just not trying to be masculine. They're not trying to take that responsibility at all. But saying like in general, most men do feel their best when they are taking care of stuff. A man's brain is not like a woman's brain. A woman's brain, like how many times does a girl meet a man and she's not really into him in the beginning and he's friend zoned and then he grows on her and then eventually they start dating, and that doesn't happen with men. Men know right off the bat, like men know what they want. And I see so many times like situationships. That situationship is never gonna end, babe. Okay? Like that's the thing. Like a guy will drag you along just to have you there and not commit. So with men, don't get me wrong, if it's too soon, that's weird. Like if it's right off the bat, like love bombing, like I want you to be my wife within 2 days. Come on, like that's a red flag. But like if this man is dragging you along 6 months, 8 months and still doesn't know and still figuring it out, babe, he's wasting your time. That's the thing with men. Their minds are very analytical.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, within 5 minutes, a man places you in a category. He knows exactly what he wants from you. This is the misconception that women get, and this is why we get ourselves in trouble. A man's brain is not like a woman's.
Play dumb all the time. Men love to teach women. So just act dumb, play dumb, let him talk, let him get his little, teach on, and then, allow them to ask you questions, or ask a follow-up question. And then tell them, like, if you have trouble with the machines, like, oh, thank you so much. I was struggling with that. Thank you. What's your name? Da, da, da. And then give him some eye contact, ma'am. Give him some eye contact and a little smile. Like, I see you, sir. The muscles. He's not rich, but he want to give you everything he has. Well, is it enough? Sprinkle, sprinkle. You gonna take some man's money and it's not even enough, It depends on if it's enough for you or not, because it doesn't make sense to take money from a man when you know it's never going to be enough. Do yourself a favor and just say, okay, well, that's nice that you're going to give me everything you have, but it's not going to be enough. So I don't even really want to entertain this for much longer. So I'm just going to, start, that's how you need to be thinking. You don't need to be taking what you know you're never going to be satisfied with.
Man on his second marriage might be like the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Mel, if Mel and I hypothetically, God forbid, we were to divorce, his next wife would get like a whole different version of him. Because I
Yeah.
started dating Mel when I was 18, he was 21.
Yeah.
Mel at 21 versus 28 is like two different men. Like I had to go through some
Yeah.
things, and watch him like grow into a man.
Yeah.
But like the second wife would get like
Yeah.
the man version of him that had to go through the
Yeah.
learning process.
Yeah.
I tell my friends, I'm like, get with a man who's on his second wife.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson.
Yeah. Because the other woman like groomed him.
I groomed him out.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Man on his second.
Women nowadays want to be the king.
Yeah.
They want to be the king. So the seat of the king is taken. All your man is gonna do is take the queen's seat. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just you have to let the man lead.
Yeah, you have
Let
to
him.
the man be a leader.
Let
Yeah.
him.
And if you can't trust him to do that, then he's not the man for you.
Think about a queen in your mind, okay? She is sitting on her throne. Oh, she's a queen on her throne. Like that's and she has her king by her side. I think that's the problem is that women nowadays want to be the king.
Yeah.
They want to be the king. So the seat of the king is taken. All your man is gonna do is take the queen's seat. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just you have to let the man lead.
Yeah, you have
Let
to
him.
the man be a leader.
Let
Yeah.
him.
And if you can't trust him to do that, then he's not the man for you.
Think about a queen in your mind, okay? She is sitting on her throne. Oh, she's a queen on her throne. Like that's and she has her king by her side. I think that's the problem is that women nowadays want to be the king.
Yeah.
They want to be the king. So a generous man is completely different than it doesn't matter the income of the man. It depends how generous he is.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I know there are situations that I've seen that are pretty sad. There are men out there that make like millions that wouldn't even like take a
I
girl
know.
out to dinner. And then there's men that maybe don't make as much money, but save up and like do the best to spoil the woman that they love.
Yeah, I think that's important for women to know that you can't equate just because a man has money.
No.
Doesn't mean he's
Oh,
generous.
no.
Doesn't mean he's gonna give it to you.
Yeah, no.
You know?
And that's the thing that kills me is that when women go for men that like they're like, oh, he has this, he has that. Listen, babe, he has all of these things. How is that affecting your life?
Yeah, like do you see it?
Let's say that he has a mansion and a Bugatti, okay? Oh my God, I'm gonna get with him because he has those things. Okay, wonderful. Then you go back to your home and you have none of those things. Like what is that doing for you? What does what the man has do for you?
Yeah.
If he's not like marrying you or doing anything for you, like what is that doing for you at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. A generous man. All of these guys need to find a second job and keep themselves busy instead of doing all of this cheating. That's all I'm saying.
How do they have the time?
Because they're not working and going 50-50, babe. That's why. All of these guys need to find a second job and keep themselves busy instead of doing all of this cheating. That's all I'm saying.
How do they have the time?
Because they're not.
I was putting my Jasmine, looking in their eyes, and definitely saying their name. It's something about someone else saying your name that just makes you fall hard or just makes you more intrigued with that person. So automatically always repeat someone's name while you're looking in their eyes. This will enchant them, and also you'll be able to use the power of suggestion on them much easier when you call their name. Okay, so I'll give y'all an example. Like when I look and if I really want something, I'm gonna say their name. I'm gonna be like, not their nickname. If you're in a relationship, don't use their nickname. If you're dating, hi, I'm gonna use James as an example. James, I saw something that I really liked, but I don't want to buy it by myself. Can I have your credit card? Meanwhile, I'm smelling good. I'm looking good. I'm giving eye contact. The answer is gonna be yes. Period. Okay. Even I can do it right now and it could work. So when you're having trouble trying to figure out how to ask for something, use that technique. Okay? What are they gonna do? Tell you no while you're sitting there smelling good, looking up in their eyeball, calling their name? No. All right? So use it. Even if it's just if you're not asked for something, maybe you just want your way or want to persuade them in a certain direction. Same thing. Okay? You want to choose your scents wisely. You don't want to go to a restaurant and make everyone choke and not like the taste of their food. So when I suggest, like, when you're going out on a date or when you're going out to eat and you're trying to be enchanting on a date, wear fragrances that aren't going to choke you up and not mingle and mesh well with the smells of food or wine. Okay? Because this is going to throw everything off. So I suggest, like, when you're going to a nice restaurant, wear something that's kind of light, neutral. If you want to put a touch of mystery in it, don't overdo it. Only a dab, a little dab. All right. So, for example, if y'all are, using the ouds that I suggested from Oud of Jira, this is what I would do if I was going to a nice restaurant. I would put a dab on my wrist, one dab. That's all you need. If you're going out to eat, you don't want to be overpowered. And then I would take some perfume that kind of goes well with a food smell or whatever, like a pistachio. This is pistachio brulee. I would spray that on because pistachio is kind of like, a good smell. It's not too sweet. It's not too like, harsh. So it's like right there in the middle. So you have this mixed with, I'm using seduction. I used a little dab of seduction and mixed it in with something that smells good in a restaurant. Like if you're going to order wine, food, and then maybe dessert and coffee afterwards, the pistachio is not going to, clash with any of that. You can even use, I would say, maybe a vanilla or like something warm, like that reminds you of food. Okay. So after you get that on, so you have a touch of the mystery with the oud, and then the smell. So you smell intoxicating and delicious like a snack. And the combination is kind of like mysterious because they don't know if they're smelling something very mysterious and seductive or something very sweet and innocent and charming. So you're right there, confusing them right there. So you're enchanting them right there with that mix. Okay, this pistachio brulee is by La Monde Gourmand. I bought this at Ulta, y'all. But any perfume like vanilla or something like fresh cream from Philosophy, something like that mixed with one of these ouds is going to have that dark and light play. Okay, so especially for restaurants. Okay, now if you're not going to a restaurant, you can skip the the perfumes that go well with food and drink smells, and you can totally use just this by itself. Okay, but remember, you don't want to offend anyone with the environment and the fragrances that you choose if you want to remain enchanting on the highest level. Okay, the next thing, if you don't like me, you don't like success, you don't like money, you don't like valuing yourself, you don't like strategy, you don't like logical thinking, you don't like a lot of things that you can't apply because you haven't learned to love yourself enough to feel good enough about yourself to be able to apply it. If you don't like me, you don't like success. People who don't like me, they don't like themselves. I'm telling y'all, if you don't like me, it's because you don't like yourself. And I don't need to be liked. I just, because I don't really care. But I'm just saying, if you don't like what I say, if you don't like my message, you don't like yourself. Because I'm giving y'all information to help. Whether you agree with that information or not, whether you can use some of that information or just a little bit of it or all of it, it's for you to better yourself. I don't need it. I already got it and applied it. And it's always the people that claim to be holier than thou. If you are holier than thou, why are you still suffering? If you believe someone died for you so you wouldn't have to suffer, but you still choose to suffer, isn't that death in vain? You know what I'm saying? If someone didn't like a message that someone else gave and decided to, you know, take away that message, guess what? The message still goes on both sides, no matter what. You can't take away the information. All you can do is accept it, apply it, or ignore it. You get clingy with man, anxious, attached, what? You need 2, 3 men, man. Sprinkle. Get 2, 3 men. 2 or 3 men. If you're anxious and attached to men all the time, it's because you need 2 or 3 of them. You need 2 or 3 of them to spread your attention. Because if you get that attached to one person, let me tell you what that means. It means that you fear losing them and you don't have enough going on for yourself. So if you have 3 of them, I mean, the chances of losing all 3 are less than losing 1. So therefore, your anxiousness and your attachment is way less. So get 3. This woman is a witch. Okay. And since when's that a crime? Sprinkle. I'm also an author, an owner of several businesses, a mother, a wife, a cat owner, an artist, among many other things. You said, what? You said not since the 1800s? Exactly. Like, who cares? I see all these weird videos that people are making saying that they don't like me, they don't agree with me, they don't do this, they don't do that, you know, like just like a lot of criticism. And I don't really listen to the criticism because I've been doing this for a long time. But I literally had the best time watching those videos because they were so hilarious. Like, it is so funny. And a lot of people were like making other videos to defend me. And I was like, wow, I have a lot of loyal subscribers or people that agree so much that they would literally take their time and make videos to like agree with me and like be upset at the haters. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so sweet. So I went on TikTok and commented under a few of them from my TikTok. So if just a few, not a lot. But the people, okay, yes. The people that were commenting, they had no business commenting because it didn't apply to them. That's the funny thing. They had no business not liking my message because they were never able to implement the message with their current beliefs or their current way of living. So, like I always said, if someone has some information that you can't take because you represent something on the opposite side, you're going to literally defend your ground because that's what you've invested in for the longest. So if Pygmisha has been out there investing in Dusties forever, she's going to stand up for that because that's where her following is, or that's where she thinks that she feels most important. So I understand. That's why I don't take it personally. Because if you spent 10 years online promoting being a Pygmisha, and someone like me, who's also been online for just as long, says something different, that shouldn't be a problem to you if Pygmisha is the right way to go. Your message should not be threatened if Pygmisha is the way to go. So when people don't like me, it's just that they don't like that people are agreeing with the message. It has nothing to do with me because I'm just a messenger. I'm just giving a message, and people are taking it personally because someone else could be giving the same exact message if it's not me. A lot of people are just upset because they can't apply the knowledge. And let me repeat that. There is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is just gaining a bunch of information and memorizing it. Wisdom is able to apply the knowledge and get results. So you may see a lot of people that have knowledge, but they don't have wisdom. Because if they did, they would apply it and get better results in their life. I see all these placeholder material. When they hold you in a placeholding position, that means they're holding out for something better and they're wasting your time. So if you're not gaining anything from that relationship, such as money or, free time and not having to work and things like that, you're wasting time. If they really like you and they love you and they want to talk about the future together, blah, 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 but they don't have their finances in order, wrong timing, bad timing. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to put the horse, the buggy in before the horse. They can't provide for you, but they still want you. They want to take you off the market, but don't have the funds to do so. You know what I'm saying? And then when you and if you start talking about money and they only start talking about love to distract you, that they don't really want you, then you're going to know it because they're going to start talking about gold diggers, about how women use men, blah, 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 because they're not going to be able to reach your standards emotionally or financially. So they're really just telling on themselves, and you can sort through these kind of guys super fast and easy if you just start talking about money first. Okay, that gets a lot of people out of the way quick, fast, and in a hurry. You're going to see their true nature. You're going to see their reaction. You're going to see how shocked they are when you start talking about, things that are necessary. And they're going to try to pull you back into la la land so that you forget about all those things and continue to waste your time. Placeholder material. Never take a loan from a man and never pay him back. If it's not a gift, don't take it. Get it from somebody who can afford to give it to you and don't need it back. Otherwise, it's very pick-me-show. Okay. It's very pick-me-show. If a certain question comes out of a grown, able-bodied man's mouth that alerts me that he's broke or dusty, I'm just not even talking to him anymore. Just done. Just seriously done. Never take a loan from a man and never pay him back. If it's not a gift, don't take it. Get it from somebody who can afford to give it to you and don't need it back. Otherwise, it's very pick-me-show. Okay. It's very pick-me-show. If a certain question comes out, excuse me if this is insensitive to the LGBTQ, but it's literally like turning you out. It's literally like making you change teams. If you drop your standards, that's literally it. It's just like somebody gay that's trying to turn somebody straight gay. You can't do it if it ain't happening. You can't. It's standards. Then after they gay, they don't want them no more. They go on to the next street. Dude, trying to turn them out. So why would you lower your standards, women? They don't want you. After you done turn into pick-me-show, you're no longer valuable. Sorry, pick-me-show. You're going to learn one day. But you're no longer valuable after you lower them standards. It's just like an expensive piece of clothing. After a couple of seasons and it's on sale and on the rack at Ross or TJ Maxx or whatever, and after it's dropped its standards and its value, it's not couture. Couture don't go on sale, like Kanye said. Don't lower your standards. Keep them high. The Dusties don't want you after anyway. All you're doing is being the fool. So, ladies will always question me and ask me, what if I'm lonely? What if I miss my Dusty? How do I get over a Dusty? They don't even want y'all no more. A Dusty don't even want you no more if you lowered yourself to their level. They don't even want you no more. You're not even valuable anymore. Not to them. Because you drop your standards. That's why you got to get over a Dusty. And that's why they don't have to get over you. So, y'all got to listen. Leave the dust alone. Do not drop your standards for anyone. That includes anyone. Because remember, it's better to want something or to have wanted it than to get it cheap and discarded later. Instead of putting all this energy and trying to get a woman to lower her standards, instead of trying to get someone to feel guilty about not accepting your dust, just go use all that energy and effort in learning how to get some money. And you know what a lot of dusties will tell you? Well, if I ever get money, I would never spend it on a woman like you. Well, good for you. Go spend it on another woman. Either way, you're going to be spending it on a woman, so I don't care. Okay? It's not a threat to me. It's not a threat to someone who just dismissed you. You're going to spend it somewhere on some woman. I don't care who it is. As long as you become a provider and the man you're supposed to be, I'm glad. You know? I don't feel like people understand that. We just want the best for women. We just want the best for these guys to reach their full potential before pursuing any type of woman. You know, focus on your success. Focus on that, because even though Dusties hate standards, if they try to go do anything else in life and there's some standards to reach, they're going to quickly give up. This is why you don't deal with dust. Because if they can't even reach the standards of being successful or being disciplined enough to become successful, they're never going to reach a woman's standards, because women are literally impossible. Women are literally the most mysterious thing on this planet. So if you can't reach the standards of becoming a successful provider, you're never going to reach the standards of a woman. Never. Never had a provider. How to have confidence. You can. Yes. Well, just say you only date providers and you only deal with people that have money, and stop talking to anybody else. And eventually, that's all you're going to be surrounded by, talking to, or dealing with, and hanging out with. You're not going to go to any places where men aren't capable of being providers. You're not going to put yourself in those environments anymore, or around those type of people anymore. So you just have to say it. I only date providers. Any man that I date has to be a provider. And that's all you got to do. Keep them standards high and don't bend them. And eventually, that's what you're going to meet. Okay? Put yourself in the environment. Get out of the environment where there are no where there are guys that don't provide. Get out of that environment. Okay? That will build your confidence right there, just getting out of the environment. And allowing yourself to get comfortable in those types of surroundings. Can't be comfortable enough in an environment to actually get to know a person in order to start to love them if they're broke, if they're struggling, if they can't do this, if they can't do that. How are you going to make the time to get to know someone if they're always in struggle mode? You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be comfortable. You're not going to feel safe. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be like, well, I hope things work out. You know, you're always going to have something on the back of your mind, because the dude doesn't have what you need in order to feel safe and secure. So that's very important. I've been a pygmy to the entire relationship. How do I turn it around? It's been 2 years. Also, can you ever be too old? No, you can't be too old. The best way to turn it around is just to stop all the pygmisha actions. Stop all the pygmisha thoughts. Stop doing too much. If they're not doing more for you, then you shouldn't be doing anything for them at all. Period. You got to be careful of who you spend a lot of time with, thinking that they're going to eventually make way more money when they think by you being there, they're good enough. That's why if you meet a man, you don't go off his potential. You go off what he already has. And you won't have to skip a beat. You won't have to waste a couple of years sitting in an apartment eating chicken wings, shopping online, for fast fashion. Even everybody likes fast fashion, but if that's all you can do, or all he can do for you, then that's not quite enough, now is it? You got to be careful of who can't dress for yourself. You got to dress to get the attention from men, not women. And this is one of the problems that many women don't understand. So, what do men find attractive versus what women think is pretty? You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people don't understand this, but when I tell you, women think certain hair is pretty, certain makeup looks are pretty, certain shoes are pretty, certain outfits are pretty, when men don't think they're pretty at all. You know what I'm saying? So you can't dress for women. You got to dress to get the male attention. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, like, this look ain't going to get no man because it's looking like who did it and why, right? But if I were to take my hair down, put on some liners, some makeup, maybe flat iron it, or, you know, just make it look a little bit better. Put on a little red or a little blush, you know, start getting a little extra, you know, transform. Do the low cut. Start talking in a voice like this. Maybe I'd get more attention. But, you know, we don't dress for women. We got to dress for men to cross the room and want to give us their wallet. That's what you got to do. Can't dress for yourself. What should you do if he start talking to you and he gets sexual too quick? Have you met this man in person yet? Has he bought you anything? Does he have any gifts for you? Has he put any money into your hands or to your account? He's very bold, and you should be just as bold in telling him that you need new tires, your rent hasn't been paid, or that you paid your grandma's rent and now you need to figure out how you're going to pay yours. See if he's going to come through financially for you, if he's bold enough to start talking that way. You should be bold enough to be talking about money. And when he says, how dare you, you're just a gold digger. Say, well, if you're bold enough to come out and start talking about stuff like that, I figured talking about money wasn't even as bad. Okay, the double standard, right? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Should we confront him about possibly lying about another woman or leave it alone? If bills are paid and you have everything you want, I don't care. Unless you can get more money out of him by confronting him, I don't care. You know, if you can strategically find a way and you know him well enough to know that if you bust him, he's going to try to pay you for your forgiveness, then go ahead and do it. But if you think he's going to run, tuck tail, and leave, then I wouldn't even say nothing if you're trying to get his money, because the goal is the money. Okay? All men are going to lie. What if your friends are more attractive than you? Then go out alone, darling. Go out alone. If you're trying to attract, just go out alone. Until you find someone. And then, you know, a lot of times, I never understand this. Why would you hang around people that are more attractive than you? If you're hanging around attractive people, you by default should become attractive. You should start getting all their tips, hints, and clues. Get your hair and nails done. Get your makeup done. You know, you need to be tweaking yourself to look good too. Okay? Like extra. You need to go extra. Like, if it's friendly competition by, you know, motivating you to look your best every time you leave the house because you're going to be with them, then that should motivate you to get your level up and your looks looking better. But, you know, if you don't want all that stress on you, then hang out alone or find someone that's less attractive.
You won't date a broke guy. I probably wouldn't because I'm not broke. So I want to date in my tax bracket. I'd be lying if I told you I would. Do you know what I mean? Like if I said, oh yeah, if a broke guy has ambitions and gets somewhere, then I would date him. I'm lying. I will not. I'm sorry. Like, no. I'm not a broke girl, so why should I date a broke guy? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. I want to be treated to the nicest things. I'm so sorry, darling. You won't date a broke guy. I probably wouldn't because I'm not broke. So I want to date in my tax bracket. I'd be lying if I told you I would. Do you know what I mean? Like if I said, oh yeah, if a broke guy has ambitions and wants to get somewhere, then I would date him. I'm lying. I will not. I'm sorry. Like, no. I'm not a broke girl, so why should I date a broke guy? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. I want to be treated to the nicest things. I'm so